There has never been a player like Shohei Ohtani.
The star pitcher, the star hitter, the superstar baseball player.
Shohei Ohtani! One-of-a-kind player! One-of-a-kind season! Jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring. He is not human!
The Japanese prodigy is not only an incredible pitcher, but the best hitter in the world. Ohtani is one of a kind and among the richest athletes alive, but it's more than just raw skill or talent. He revolutionized not just the game, but the entire business behind it. Here's how he did it. Firstly, we really need to drive home how unbelievable this guy is. In most sports, and certainly in baseball, you have a specialty. You pitch or play position and hit. You get extremely good at one role, and reaching a professional level in that one skill is extremely difficult. Not only that, but hitting and pitching are so different. They're essentially different sports. The pitchers who have to hit in the National League are always terrible because it's not even worth trying to be great at both. Except for Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani is a two-way player, a hitter, and a pitcher. But he's not just good at both positions, he's a prodigy at them. He is a unicorn, extremely rare and extremely valuable. But he's had a different career path to most baseball players. Ohtani is from Japan, and growing up, he was known as Yaki'i Shonen, meaning baseball boy, who lived and breathed baseball. His mom in high school was a national-level badminton player, and his father, who was also his coach during school, played baseball in the Japan Industrial League. It's easy to see why he loved the sport. As a teenager, Ohtani was a household name in baseball. At 18, he set a new record for Japanese high school, a 99 miles per hour fastball. After a short rookie career, he made his way to Major League Baseball, where many teams were eager to sign him. But Japanese players in MLB aren't that uncommon. Baseball is the most popular sport in Japan, so many talented players have migrated to the US to play. Even right now, there's Kenta Maeda with the Detroit Tigers, or Masataka Yoshida with the Red Sox, just to name a few. This makes Ohtani unique but not a unicorn. He was a rising star before even becoming a rookie. He could have gone directly from high school to MLB, but he did something different. In 2012, he signed with the Nippon Ham Fighters, a team in the Nippon Professional Baseball League where he would stay for 5 full seasons. Then, he finally moved to MLB in the United States. At 23 for his MLB debut, Ohtani signed with an unexpected team. Not the Texas Rangers, the Seattle Mariners, or even the LA Dodgers, but the LA Angels, a team with amazing talent, yet underperforming with an 80-82 record before Ohtani signed. He definitely could have gone hard and fast, straight to the top. So why wait 5 seasons and then join the Angels of all teams? Ohtani knew there was a problem with that. Being a two-way player was rare, very rare, but it was also risky. He knew most teams wouldn't let him pitch and hit. It was too much of a risk for performance and a potential injury. If he signed with a major MLB team right away, he would have to pick pitching or hitting. He had something others didn't. He needed space to be a two-way player. The Nippon Ham Fighters were happy to provide that space during his time in the Japanese league. He mastered both positions. In 2016, he threw a fastball that reached 102.5 miles per hour, the fastest in the league's history. That year, he also had a batting average of .32% and hit 22 home runs. He was one of the best in the league at both positions. When he finally went to MLB, he had the same philosophy, but the decision was even easier. Players under 25 are considered amateurs. Teams also had a limited bonus pool for international players. The Angels weren't the most successful team, and certainly didn't have the most money, but they were willing to take a risk and let him grow. And that he did. In just a couple of years, he was looking like the best player in league and potentially baseball history. In 2022, he became the first player in World Series history to make the leaderboards as both a hitter and a pitcher. He stayed with the Angels until 2023, when he joined the Los Angeles Dodgers for the most expensive sports contract in history. Not just in baseball, but in all of sports. Since 2018, Ohtani has the most 450-foot home runs. That puts him ahead of every other player and every other team, besides just one. So what's just as interesting about Ohtani is how he changed the business landscape of baseball. He's making more money than any other MLB athlete and bringing in more money into MLB altogether. How did he revolutionize the business side of baseball as well? Let's start with sponsorships. For most players and teams, this is where the real money is. Brand deals and player endorsements bring in a lot of money, be it promoting a cologne, a sports drink, sports betting, anything. Pro players make money playing, but they make even more from endorsements. Among baseball's legends, there's some big money. Mike Trout, a baseball legend, earned $4 million in 2023 from sponsorships alone. Bryce Harper made $7 million. What about Ohtani? As it turns out, it's not even close. He made almost 10 times Harper's amount, $65 million, just from sponsorships. In 1 year, this sounds like a lot, but if we take a step back and compare it to other sports, it might seem a bit underwhelming. Michael Jordan made a lot from the NBA, but from just his Air Jordans, $1.3 billion in total. Ronaldo and Messi have each made similar amounts from sponsorships. With those numbers, it might sound like Ohtani and MLB fall a bit behind. But it's the opposite. In fact, this is just the beginning. Ronaldo and LeBron James are both close to 40, and Michael Jordan is in his 60s. Ohtani? He just turned 30. That's $65 million is only from 2023. Baseball players haven't made quite as much as the NBA, but they've never had a player like Ohtani. Over the next few decades, his sponsorships are going to grow bigger and bigger. Will he pass Michael Jordan? It's a doubt, but he'll be near the top of the list. His sponsorships right now might be impressive, but his salary is unbelievable. In fact, Ohtani is so valuable that he changed the way baseball is played and how players are valued altogether. To understand Ohtani's contracts, we need to take a step back and look at how baseball has changed. For about 100 years, all pitchers were required to hit. Naturally, most of them were terrible. So terrible, whenever a pitcher got a home run, it made history. It made baseball kind of boring. Most games were low scoring and had frequent strikeouts. So in 1973, the American League made a change. Teams could now have a designated hitter. Pitchers no longer needed to hit. Except the National League didn't adopt this rule. So for almost 50 years, MLB operated with two completely separate styles of baseball. One all about offense and high hitting, and one about low scoring and more strategy. But then came Ohtani. Ohtani has been dedicated to his special skill set and has risen to the top in both positions. But this made things tricky. The league didn't really know what to do with him. He was the obvious choice for the LA Angels designated hitter. Yet, he also fit the starting pitcher position. But a player couldn't be listed as both. This put Ohtani in an awkward position. The Angels had to carefully move his position around to get the most out of his two-way skill set. But even then, it was limited. Then, in 2022, came one of the biggest rule changes in MLB history. Firstly, the National League adopted the designated hitter rule, making MLB consistent across the board. Pitchers no longer had to hit. The game would be more exciting. But that's not all. They introduced what is unofficially called the Ohtani rule. A starting pitcher could now be the designated hitter in the same game. This was an absolutely massive change. Even if the starting pitcher leaves the mound, they can remain in the lineup. It was a rule designed for two-way players. Ohtani literally changed the game of baseball. This might sound like favoritism towards one player, but in truth, it benefits everyone. It moved the status quo away from specialists and slightly towards two-way players. Unicorns like Ohtani could get more game time, and it made room for superstars in MLB beyond Ohtani. So how does this affect his earnings? Ohtani, with his dual-player utility, is a vital asset worth far more than a single-role player. This rule changed the way players could be valued. In 2023, when moving from the Angels to the Dodgers, analysts predicted his future contract could be worth $500 million. $500 million for one player. Unbelievable. Yet somehow, the reality is even more shocking.
Japanese-born global sensation inking a 10-year, $700 million contract.
$700 million. Not only was that the highest contract in baseball at the time, it was the biggest contract in sports history. He is changing the way baseball is played and run. Is all of this because he's an amazing two-way player? Yes and no. There's something else that not only puts him at that top, but elevates baseball as a whole. The Ohtani rule is great for baseball, but it does more than allow for potential two-way players. It can be argued that the main reason is much simpler. It's not for Ohtani or for the teams. It's for the fans. In 2024, Ohtani's first year with the Dodgers saw the highest MLB attendance in 7 years, and the postseason saw a jump of 42%. Now, these aren't just for Ohtani, but some of it absolutely is. The baseball commissioner stated that building off last year's momentum, the 2024 season was memorable with historic performances and emerging young stars. These emerging young stars are attracting young fans. The 1834 age demographic saw a 101% increase in viewership during the World Series. It also saw a 67% increase in viewers overall. Ohtani never made the World Series with the Angels, but he did with the Dodgers. Everyone was eager to see what would happen. Ohtani was must-see TV. People are starting to watch MLB for him. It's not just in America either. Game 2 of the World Series saw 15.9 million average viewers in Japan, the highest in history for a postseason game. And who was the starting pitcher? Shohei Ohtani. American fans love him, but so do international fans. He's a household name in Japan, but also adored in South Korea. MLB has also achieved record highs in Mexico, the Dominican Republic, and Taiwan. Being a unique two-way player is part of it, but also being from abroad and dominating the scene makes others want to cheer him on, especially in Southeast Asia. This is most apparent in the 2023 Japan vs. America World Baseball Classic. This game set new records. In the US, it drew an average viewership of 5 million. Impressive, but in Japan, the game drew an average of 62 million viewers. 42% of Japanese households watched this match. That's the power of Ohtani. This is why baseball needs him. It's why the Ohtani rule was added, and why his contract and sponsors are so valuable. Ohtani isn't just popular. He's history in the making. He's the most marketable baseball player. He's not just amazing, he's unique. People are starting to watch baseball just for him. Not only is he marketable to American fans, but he's drawing international fans to the sport like no other player ever. Everything he touches is valuable and marketable, even accidentally. When Ohtani hit this foul ball and left a black square on the LED, he probably didn't expect to kickstart a giant marketing campaign. Coors added the same black square onto all their packaging, and their sales soared. For them, it was free advertising. Just being vaguely connected to Ohtani brings success. He is history in the making, and naturally, viewers want to experience that. 2024 marked Ohtani's first World Series, where the Dodgers made the finals. It seemed like everyone was watching. The game set sales records for Dodgers merchandise, as well as Yankee Stadium attendance, and drew an average of 30 million viewers. It was the most watched World Series in Japan ever. With numbers like these, the MLB realized they had lightning in a bottle. Of course, they would change a rule to get Ohtani more game time. With his two-way play, he redefined player valuations, sponsorships, and the very game of baseball itself. Right now, he has an estimated net worth of $85 million, but we expect that to go much, much higher. We can't wait to see where Ohtani goes and the new heights he'll reach. Whatever he does, he'll take MLB with him.